How much does this feel a little bit different from the media days you're used to?
They made me do something with NBA TV. I don't think I've done that before. Nah, it's all relatively the same.
Speaking of that, the national TV games this year are way up for the team, but especially national TV games here in Sacramento, kind of showcasing the fans. You've talked about the fans a lot, just the atmosphere a lot. Is there a sense of pride in that, knowing that the NBA kind of wants to showcase that more?
Yeah, definitely. I think we had like one or two scheduled last year. I think we fell into like an extra one. I think the one against the Knicks was an extra one. It's cool that we actually start the season off with those nationally televised games. I think it was great for people to see us, even those games, and then in the playoffs. So I think it's an exciting time. I think a lot of people are happy that the Kings are kind of back, and we want to continue to build off the momentum that we had last year.
Yeah, it always seemed like the weight of the playoff drought kind of was on your shoulders. Like, and now that it's gone, I just wonder how much the kind of the gravity of expectations is different from the feeling that you guys had here before.
I mean, we have high expectations for ourselves. Like we all want to win a championship. I think that's our next goal. Your next goal isn't to just get out of the first round. Like, you don't get anything for that. So for us, that's our next step. That's what we want to achieve as a team, and I'm sure everybody in here has obviously individual goals, but I think they all stem back to us being a better team. So that's what we're worried about. That's all we're worried about. We're trying to come in from day one, and we're trying to achieve that goal.
Was this one of the more enjoyable off seasons you've had as an NBA player?
I enjoy all my off seasons.
De'Aaron, what do you want to do this season? I mean, individually, we know team-wise you want to make the playoffs again, but you have improved every year this year. What will we see different this year going into this season?
I mean, I think a lot of last year. I mean, obviously there are times where I have to create for myself. There are times where we have guys like Domas and HB creating for us as well. I mean, I think coming back to it's always the three-point shot. I think that's always the big thing. I started off well last year and kind of went down, but I want to be more consistent on that and then just continue to be better as a defender. I think that'll help our team as a whole.
Your name has been in the Team USA possibilities. Is that something you'd be interested in if you were invited?
Things change in the future. Right now, it's not something I'm worried about.
It seems like you spent a lot of time with Keegan throughout the offseason. How do you see him grow, and what do you think are reasonable expectations going into this year?
I mean, just being around him just as a person, just coming out of a show, it's definitely been great to watch and great to witness. I mean, he's becoming more comfortable putting the ball on the floor. Obviously, he's one of the best shooters in the league, and that's not going to change anytime soon. But for him, it's really us trying to add another player that can create for themselves at some point. Obviously, the way that we play, we don't need him to do it a lot, but there are times where the clock's winding down, or he might have a mismatch, and he has to go to work. So I think he's become a lot more comfortable doing that.
Speaking of Uncle Keegan, your family's growing. There's been a lot of talk about this organization taking on kind of a family environment. What's your take on just like how that's happened over the past year?
It's funny. A lot of people had babies in the organization this summer. It was I think it was like 5 or 6 babies. It's great to come in here knowing that you're going to work, but knowing that you have people who actually care about you, your well-being, your family. A lot of people have. I think most of the coaches' kids are like all around the same age, so it's dope being able to be around a lot of people who kind of just grow together, have their kids grow up together. It's just a fantastic environment to be in. But every time we come in here, we know that we're going to get after each other. We know that coaches are going to yell at us and cuss us out, and you know that it's what's best for us. It's never getting taken personal. And as a team, you need that. You need that type of, I don't want to call it adversity, but we need people to get on top of it to get on each other. And a lot of times it's better to come from a player than it is from a coach, because we know that we all have a common goal.
Having the experience that you did last year with some of the guys that are going to be around you this year as well, how much do you feel that kind of benefits you as you go on this journey?
I mean, I think just having the experience of last year and being in the playoffs and seeing what needs to be done, I think is very beneficial for us. But like Mike has said before, we have to be playing defense and be physical from game 1 to game 82, and then however many games we play after that, rather than going into the playoffs trying to amp that up, because now guys might not have been playing that hard. Now you're tired. Now your shots are different. So we have to try to do that as much as possible before getting into the postseason, where you're just trying to flip a switch. We know we can't do that.
I know you're excited about adding Sasha. I'm curious what stood out to you now that you've seen him play a little bit out of these workouts.
Man, he shoots the piss out of the ball. It's crazy. Like one of our shooting drills, I think it was like 150 shots, and I think he missed 7. Like he's up there with some of the best shooters in the world. And for us, we're telling him, because I think when he first got here and we were playing pickup, he's kind of trying to fit in, and I think he traveled more than he did in EuroLeague, and that's saying something if you're traveling in the NBA. But we want him to be comfortable, and we want him to know that he has a green light to shoot the ball. I mean, like I said, one of the best shooters in the world. That's why you're here. We want you to shoot the ball. If you think it's a bad shot, it might not actually be a bad shot. But once he gets it going, man, it's like the net's not even moving. It's crazy. It's actually just sitting there watching him shoot the ball.
What's the next step for you, do you think, in terms of elevating your game and even just your place in the league? I know you're not necessarily concerned about that stuff. I would imagine that you view this as an opportunity to maybe put your flag in the ground, so to speak.
Oh, I mean, for me, I think it's just consistency. Just being able, for as many games as I play, be able to affect the game every single game that I'm out there. And I think that's what separates, good from great from good players and good from bad players, is how consistently can you be great, how consistently can you be good. And I think that's the next step for me. I don't want to have a 2 or 3 week period where I'm just not playing well. Just try to cut those slumps in half or as best as I can, for as many games as I can.
You said the end of last season is the first time that it really stung for you for the season to come to an end. Was that different motivation this offseason at all? Did this offseason feel a little different because of that sting?
Yeah, for sure. Just knowing what it felt like, knowing what it felt like to be one of those teams that you don't know when the last day of your season will be. Because there are times when April 15th or 14th, whatever it is, that's the last game of the season. So going into it, especially going into Game 7, we could have either been our last game, or we could have had 2 more weeks of basketball. So I think that's what stung the most, knowing that we had a chance to be playing for a long period of time. But at the end of the day, I feel like it helped us and it motivated us even more. And I think with us bringing back most of the same guys and really our same rotation back, I think it helped all of us.
Do you encounter a lot of people that bring up Game 7 or even just that series overall, or your injury, playing with the injury that you had?
On Twitter. No one's just said it to me, but I mean, just going around the city, because I was here most of the summer. But just fans talking about the series, I think even though we lost, I think they enjoyed it. Obviously, it's been a long time since they've been able to play against the same team for however many games. So it was good and bad. I'm great that we experienced that, but we know that we want to be better than that.
When did your fingers start feeling right again?
I was able to work out with my shooting the ball maybe 4 weeks after that last game, after Game 7. So it wasn't too bad. I'm perfectly fine now.
About the upcoming Olympics, your name came up a lot in the buzz. What do you think that roster is going to look like, and what are your impressions looking ahead to?
I have no idea. I'm trying to think of a nice way to put this. Right now, in this very moment, I really don't care what's going on with Team USA. That's not on my mind at all. Like I said, in the future it could change, but as of right now, I don't know. I'm not thinking about it.
With the league's stance on load management, especially with the marquee players, being one of the marquee players, do you feel any harder pressure?
How many games I played last year? Anybody know the number?
You
I think I
played
played
enough.
70.
You played enough.
70. Yeah, I missed at Cleveland. I missed home here twice.
You missed both
Two of
games.
the games shouldn't count because I had a baby.
Yeah,
I
you
had a
missed those
baby.
2 games with his baby.
Yeah, that was not. I missed New Orleans. I missed 2 New Orleans games, 1 here, 1 there. I missed at Indiana, New York.
Okay, so
New York, Cleveland. That's 5.
Didn't you miss the last game of the year?
No, I played the first half. Yeah. I'll count that. So let's go 5.5. So I played like 76 and a half games. That ain't got nothing to do with me.
Thanks, everyone. Appreciate
Hey, thanks.
it.
Appreciate you, Darren.
Good to see you, man.
Y'all too.